Mom and Pop. My name is Katie Carlson.
My name is Daniel Ewing.
And my name is Darren Cox.
And we are Team 2. We have designed a prototype for the customer end of your pizza shop's computer system. We have also outlined several documents and diagrams regarding our plans for the computer system in its full state in order to give you an idea of how it will work, how it will look, and how it will be designed and coded. These documents and diagrams include designs for both the customer end of the system and the employee end of the system.
In order to make a pizza order and delivery system, we first outlined some requirements that the final system needs. The outline was designed based on the requirements in the description we were given. Then, as we were designing the look of the system, we referenced these requirements to see if our design fulfilled them. When it comes to the customer end of the system, we came up with 9 different requirements that the customer's end will need. As we go through each page of the design, we will outline for you each requirement that is being fulfilled by each page.
This is our prototype design for the system's homepage. This is the page that will load up upon the system being started. It will contain a featured section along with a link that will link to popular combinations of orders. The address is also listed on the front so that the user can easily find the location of the pizzeria. There are also 4 buttons on the page underneath the title. These link to various activities the user can do. Look at the menu, go to the order page, look at the About Us page, and the account button in which they can use to either sign in or look at their account information.
The main page fulfills many necessary requirements for the system. Firstly, it gives important information about the pizzeria. An example of this is the address being listed on the front page. Secondly, it gives you the ability to make an account by having the account button. Thirdly, it allows you to do other actions like order, view the menu, and more through the buttons. The main page even includes pictures of some menu items so that the user can get an idea of what they can decide to order.
When the menu button is clicked, the main page will redirect to the menu page. This is the page that displays all the available items that can be purchased at the pizzeria. This includes the pizza's toppings, the sides, and the drinks, all with their prices listed.
The menu page fulfills the requirement of having the menu available to the user. This is so that the user can easily reference what it is that they can order before they enter the order pages.
This is our About Us page. This is the page in which the user can view important information regarding the pizza shop. This includes the pizzeria's hours of operation, contact information, and address.
One of the requirements we outlined was that the user should be able to access information regarding Mom and Pop. This is so that they know important information necessary in making their orders. Another requirement we outlined was that the pizzeria's contact information should be on one of the pages. This is again so that in case the user has any questions, they can have access to important information that they need. The next few pages that we are going to discuss are the ordering pages. A lot of these have similarities when it comes to fulfilling the requirements, so we will go through each page before detailing what requirements they fulfill.
To start, once the customer is ready to start ordering, they will click the order button that exists on many of the pages, but they can also choose the Pizza Builder button that's on the main page. Either way, once the button is clicked, the system will redirect them to the first ordering page, the Pizza Builder. Here, the customer will choose what type of crust they want on their pizza. The options are thin crust, regular crust, or pan crust. The customer will click a checkbox in order to choose what crust they want. Next page is our Pick a Size page. This is the page in which the customer can decide how big or small they want their pizza to be. The options given are small, medium, large, and extra large. Each has a different price depending on how large the pizza is. The larger the pizza, the more it costs. The customer will also click a checkbox here in order to choose what they want. Then we have our toppings page. By default, the pizza will have cheese on it, but there will be an option for extra cheese on the pizza as well. 8 other toppings are also included: pepperoni, sausage, ham, green pepper, onion, mushroom, tomato, and pineapple. When choosing a topping, the first option will be free. The price of any additional toppings will depend on the size of the pizza. The customer will click a checkbox to choose a topping here as well, but will also be able to choose multiple toppings at once. Next, we have our sides page. We have 3 options for a side: breadsticks, breadstick bites, and big chocolate chip cookies. Here, if a customer wants a side, they will input a number into a text box that will be the number of whatever side they wish to have. They can also choose to have more than one side here or no side at all. For the last ordering page, we have our drinks page. This is the page in which the customer will choose what drinks they want. We have 6 options for drinks: a Pepsi, an orange soda, a root beer, a Sierra Mist, a lemonade, and water. For the first 3 options, there will also be a diet option that is accessible through a drop-down menu. The user will choose what drink they want by clicking on one of the size options for said drink: small, medium, or large. Also, just like the sides page, the user will be able to input how many of what drinks they want.
Overall, the ordering pages are all the pages that have the menu options and buttons to let the customer choose what they want to order. When it comes to the requirements we outlined, these pages give the customer the ability to order what they want, which is the main requirement for the customer end of the system. As the customer makes their order, the system also records what they choose in the back end of the code for future use, keeping track of their order. Each page has the item along with the item's picture in order to give the customer an idea of what it is they are ordering. The order pages should also give the customer the ability to go back and forth between multiple pages should they change their mind.
Next, we have the checkout pages. These are the pages the customer sees right before, during, and after they place their order. Once they are finished choosing what they want, by clicking the Continue button, the customer will arrive at the cart page. The cart page is the page in which the customer can see what it is they have chosen to order so far. The cart page also details the pricing of every item and the overall pricing for the entire order. If the customer is happy with their order, they will click the Continue to Checkout button in which they can place the order. If not, there are numerous buttons available that the user can click in order to go back to another page. The next page is the payment page. This is the page in which the customer will input their payment information so that the order can be officially processed. The page also gives the option of tipping underneath the payment information. Once complete, the customer can either choose to go back or continue their order by clicking one of the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Finally, the last checkout page is the ticket page. This is the page in which the customer's order ticket will be displayed. This ticket basically acts as the receipt for the customer. Once viewed, the customer can choose to either go back to the main page or make another order in the Pizza Builder.
The checkout page's purpose is to keep track of the order, prices, and payment information in order to complete orders. They fulfill this requirement by allowing the customer to input their payment information and by displaying the customer's order and prices. The customer also has the option to go back to another page should they change their mind about something.
The customer can also choose to make an account and log into the system. To make an account, the customer will choose the Account button that is available on many of the pages. This button is also the button that states Welcome or Hello User. If the customer is not logged in, they will be greeted with Hello User, and clicking the button will redirect them to the login page. If the user is already logged in, they will be greeted with Welcome, and clicking that button will let the user see their account information. When the user first creates their account, they will be redirected to the Create Account page. Here, they will input information such as their name, email, phone number, and address. Their username and password will then be assigned to them by the system. After the user first creates their account, they will be able to log in for the first time and view the account information page that displays their information.
When the user accesses the login page, they will be prompted with the username and password. The page will default to being the customer login, but can switch to being the employee login by the click of a button at the bottom. Apart from the design of the customer end and employee end, the login pages for the customers and employee function the same way. Both the customer and the employee login pages also give the ability to switch between the two pages. On the login pages, the user will also be able to click a forgot username or forgot password link that will redirect them to the forgot username and forgot password pages respectively. These pages will allow the user to input an email associated with their account, and the system will then email the user their username and password. These pages all fulfill the requirement of giving the user an account. Customers can order without an account, but an account will be able to have their information saved with the ease of delivery. Employees, on the other hand, must sign in order to view the employee end of the system.
Now we move on to the employee end of the system. The employee end can only be accessed by the employee logging in. Once the employee logs in, the system will display the employee menu page. This page will give the employee various options on what to do. These options are to view the active tickets, to view remarks and notices, to view the employee schedule, and to view the daily report.
First, we have the ticket menu. The ticket menu is the most important page of the employee menu. This is where employees will be able to see active tickets so that they know what orders they need to complete. This is an important requirement for the employee and because the employee needs to be able to view the customer's orders in order to complete them. The ticket menu displays all the recent tickets. Once completed, the employee will click a button confirming that the order has been completed. This menu also has special text warning an employee of a blacklisted customer. This is so that the employee knows what customers not to serve.
Next, we have the daily order summary. This is a page that displays all the orders that have been completed so far for the day, with every person's order details listed besides their name. The report also details how many orders there have been for that day and the total earnings for that day. The next page is a display for the employee schedule. This is basically a display of a calendar that details what days the employee is set to be working. This is so they are able to keep track of what days to come into work. Finally, the last page is the remarks and notices page. This page functions similar to an email account in that the employee can receive and send messages. However, the employee can also send and receive messages from other employees in the management. This page basically functions in letting the employees and management interact and giving notices to each other regarding their work. The employee can also see warnings in which the management gives an important message, like a warning about bad behavior or something like that. These warnings are colored in red in order to draw the employee's attention.
The employee menu exists in order to fulfill various requirements of the system for employees. The most important of these requirements is the ability to see important information related to the employee's work, namely the display of orders so that the orders can be made and completed. This is important so that the employee is able to do their job.
Now that we have shown you the front end, we will move on to the back end. So while creating the documents for the system design, we created a detailed class diagram that is to act as the blueprint for the system's code. This diagram models the objects that make up the system and what they do, as well as the relationship between those objects. Here is a simple version of a class diagram. Explained simply, the system will be divided into 4 main sections: web pages, user data, order data, and assets. The first section, web pages, will contain the web page interface, which will manage all of the web pages that are loaded by the user whenever they are accessing the system. In addition, the web pages section also contains the client class, which will store the active user as well as the current page that is loaded by the system. And it will, in addition, store the current shopping cart of the user, and we have a Boolean for saying which will keep the user signed in if enabled. So this means that you can, what this means is that the user will be able to start an order, close out the web page, and then come back to the web page at a later date and continue their order right where they left off. Okay, so our next section is user data, which is in charge of storing and saving all of our users' data. So the first section we have is our user, which will store the first name, last name, contact information and username and password for our users. In addition, we can set their type. So if they are a customer, employee, or if they are blacklisted. We have functions for changing the user's types as well as getting their username and address and all that. In addition, we have the user database manager, which is in charge of loading and saving users or their data to our offsite database. So this allows you to search and load users as well, and you can use that to then determine their orders. The next section is order data, which is what's in charge of creating and storing all of the orders that the users create. So the system is designed to allow us to create, to easily add new items to the menu. So we have 3 subtypes: pizzas, drinks, and sides. So pizzas can be any sort of flavor, and you can have as many toppings as you want, and it's really easy to go ahead and add in new ones. Drinks also, and we have the option to have the drinks with no ice as well as the different sizes. And then sides is a completely custom class that you can modify depending on which specific, or however you want to modify that specific side. So for example, if you have a chocolate chip cookie, you can then have a custom property on that for that specific side, which allows you to, if you want to have, for say, more chocolate or more bits of chocolate in it or less bits. In addition, we have the order database manager, which lets us save and load orders, as well as the order ID, which allows us to get the user that has made that order. Our third class is our assets, which basically just kind of stores. Our third class is our assets, which will store just commonly used images like the logos and colors that are used a lot across the site. So this allows us to just quickly, if you ever want to say update your logo, or if you want to change the color scheme for a upcoming holiday or event, then you can easily do that with just a click of a few buttons. So lastly, for our database, we decided to store it offline, so we decided to store it in the cloud because we believe that that would be more secure and it would be easier to access it if you have multiple physical locations that you want to still be able to use the same system. In addition, this makes it a whole lot easier for us to go and debug and help you out if you're having any issues, as we wouldn't have to send someone out to that specific location. And then in our diagram, we also list imports. This consists of the various imports that we utilize to aid the program and ensure it runs correctly. JFrame is one that has been mentioned already, but util and AWT libraries have also been used as they store a slew of commonly used classes that are required by JFrame to function.